All right, Yvonne, I'm also with Sylvester here, who is also a leader of the community. Talk to us about your thoughts this afternoon.
Yes, I'm Sylvester Fuenowich, Chairman Sakwa East Africa Elders Forum. We are very much affected and bereaved. We got the information in the morning, but at this particular time, we don't have much to say, but we are mourning. I'm only asking for peace during this time when we are preparing for his last ceremony. We call it harusi yake ya mwisho. Otherwise, at this particular time, at this moment, I don't have much to say. Okay. So I'm only asking for our people to be very peaceful as we prepare for the arrival of the body. Okay. Yes, in Nairobi.
All right. Let's now speak to the deputy chair of the Luo community, James Ayaga. Your thoughts?
I'm James Ayaga Oling. I'm the deputy chair of the Luo community. Care is just like a king. And the late Giacomo was the patron of the Luo community. I came in to witness. I came in to witness and to ask the community of the Luos to be calm. Let them be peaceful. Giacomo has played his role, and I think that could have been the end of him. So what remains now is for us, all of us, both the youth, the old, and whatever. All those people now must come up and play the part he has left. But the most important thing is peace. But the time we are mourning the late hero, let us be very, very peaceful. Let us welcome visitors. I come from around here, and so it's my role now, my duty, to welcome those who are coming to mourn the late Giacomo. Otherwise, I'll have much to say later, unless you have a question to ask me.
Yeah, perhaps you can tell us how you remember your patron, the leader, Raila Odinga.
Sorry, Kera's come. Can you give me?
Okay, I'm advised that. Yvonne, I'm advised this is the care of the Luo community. Perhaps you can speak to us about your thoughts this afternoon on the passing of Raila Odinga. Your thoughts.
Yes. Now, we are very sad as Luo land, and I'm sure the whole country is very sad, because Raila has been around in this country for the last 40 years. He's been part of the government running this country. He worked with Moi, he worked with Uhuru, he worked with Kibaki, and now he's working with Ruto. Raila is the measure. He's been making the governments, all governments that come, steady. So we really mourn our hero. He is the man who has been doing everything for us, the Luo, and for Kenyans. Pole sana for the family, especially the Mama Ida Odinga and all the members of the family.
Thank you so much.
My name is Ajiki Ondu, Ajiki Kodiam.
All right. Yvonne, let's speak to the leader here. Talk to us and your thoughts this afternoon.
Today is a very sad day for the whole Luo community and the world at large. To imagine, no to say, to imagine Raila Odinga is dead. To me, I'm the saddest person ever lived. Jaramogi died. I never shed tears. When I got the first information in the morning, at around 7, I shed tears. And even now, I'm shedding tears. Raila Odinga Unyalego is a wonderful character. I knew Raila when he was about 5 years old. Up to date, I'm saying Raila will not see me again, and I shall not see Raila. It is a big shame to me. I'm asking Luo community to be very, very much peaceful during the time of these trying moments when we are mourning Raila. Not Luo alone. Even other communities, particularly Uganda, Tanzania, to be calm when they are also mourning Raila. I'm asking our leaders, particularly governors, MPs, and ministers, to come around and mourn Raila as their kingpin in the Luo community. I don't have more to say. I'm saying goodbye, my best friend. Me as Odinga of Luo Care and Raila Odinga, we knew so many good things. When Jaramogi died, he handed over Raila to me. And I don't know who is also coming. It's a big sorry. Sorry to Mama Ida. Thank you very much. Particularly, Bondo people, Siaya Kababa, you have lost a wonderful character. We shall not get anybody like Raila's caliber. May God rest in soul in peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's the care of the Luo community, so to speak, the king of the Luo community, speaking to us about his thoughts and, of course, his message to the family of Ida Odinga. And Yvonne, around us, lots of people that have come here to witness the passing of the former Prime Minister, many of them expressing themselves. You will hear the cries from afar, just mourning how best they know, and of course having to deal with the deep emotion of such a loss. Of course, we stay here to look out for more mourners who come here to express themselves, and we'll be sure to bring you that. Yvonne.
Thank you very much, Sam Gituku, live from Opoda Farm, speaking with a host of residents of Bondo and as well the Care, who is the chairman of the Luo Council of Elders, Odungi Randa, who, of course, paid his tributes to a man he knew quite well. Those tributes, many people continue to just come to terms and, you know, in their own way, people who've known him personally, people who've known him politically, leaders around the world, and, you know, many citizens who've experienced Raila in one way or another. either as a political leader or from, a personal lens. And we continue here. Many more tributes continue to come in. Just a reminder of what's happening at the moment. A delegation of more than 30, as mandated by the President of the Republic of Kenya, is at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport preparing to leave, heading to India to bring back the body of Raila Odinga, a former premier. Many of them comprising principal secretaries, cabinet secretaries, the leaders in National Assembly, that's the minority and majority leader, cabinet secretaries, PSs, governors as well, and ODM party secretary general, amongst others that we have seen there. The president earlier in his proclamation this afternoon declared 7 days of national mourning, flags flying at half-mast, not just in the country, but across all foreign missions around the world. And in line with that, the Football Kenya Federation has just announced a suspension of all league fixtures during the 7-day national mourning period, as per the presidential directive. This is in honor of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Once again, Football Kenya Federation suspending all league fixtures during the 7-day national mourning period, as per the directive by the President of the Republic of Kenya, to mourn former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in India earlier this morning. So we'll be seeing a lot more of that that will be taking place. I think we have, yes, some more tributes. Let's take a look at this one. And this is from the Charge d'Affaires at the British High Commission, who says, that's Dr. Ed Barnett. He says, I'm deeply saddened by the passing of former Kenyan Prime Minister, Right Honourable Raila Odinga. His legacy as a statesman, reformer and champion of democracy will forever resonate across Kenya and beyond. On behalf of the British government, I extend my heartfelt condolences to his family, friends and the people of Kenya, saying there, we mourn with Kenya. And that is from the British High Commission here in Nairobi, paying tribute to Raila Odinga. Let's take another one. We have another. Yes, and this is from the Leader of Opposition in Uganda, Bobi Wine, saying, we've received the news of the passing of Right Honourable Raila Odinga with great sadness. He stood tall for freedom, liberty and dignity. In him, we have lost a great statesman, an African giant who did his best for humanity amidst great adversity. Condolences to the great people of Kenya and all pro-democracy forces around the world. May his soul rest in peace. That is from Bobi Wine in Uganda. There continue to be more. I want to read this one out just now, and we will put it up on your screens as well in a short moment. This one just received from Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, that's Professor Kithure Kindiki, who says, I'll read this for you, I'm shocked to learn of the passing of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Kenya's most consequential politician of this generation. A patriotic and distinguished son of Kenya, Raila Odinga believed that it is better for us to have an imperfect country struggling to perfect its value and institutional systems than to have no country at all. He loved Kenya and believed in Africa. The statement ends by saying, Kenya mourns a statesman, visionary and revolutionary leader who served with dignified focus, one who put the people before self. Condolences to his family and friends. May his soul find rest in eternity. We shall put this up on our screens to share with you in a moment. So we shall continue to give you all of these tributes that are coming from various leaders, both here in Kenya and around the world. I'm still here with my panel. That's Javas Bigambo, Senator Richard Onyonka and Franklin Bett. And we'll continue to take a look at the life and times of the man, Raila Odinga, in a moment. But let's take you to Eldoret and get some more tributes from the residents there.
Dorcas Chebet Kemboi. Mimi ni mkaaji hapa Uasin Gishu. Na nimekuwa mtu ya baba ya karibu sana. Hatukuwa tuna expect hivi. Hatukuwa tunajua baba ataenda atatuona. Baba. Tuache nini baba anatuacha? Raila unaenda namna gani? Unaenda namna gani? Unatuacha namna gani sasa kama wa Kenya? Sisi tumekujua wewe ndio mteteaji ya watu. Umetuletea ma-county, umetuletea ma-governor, umetuletea ma-women rep, umetuletea ma-senate. Umetupatia katiba mpya Raila Amolo Odinga. Alafu unaenda kama hujavua matunda yako baba. Juzi ulikuja hapa devolution wakati tulikuwa tuna launch devolution yetu ya Kenya. Ukasema you are coming back and you tell us something very important. Is this a very important thing we're telling us, Baba? Where do you want us to go now? Baba, tumebaki peke yetu, tumebaki uchi. Monge na leta mwaine kabisa Raila. Kemeteji.
Dual, mimi ni mkaaji wa Langas hapa Uasin Gishu. Kwa hivyo tunaleta pole zetu za Raila Amolo Odinga baba yetu. Na sisi huyu baba ametupigania Kenya hii. Hata saizi vitu zinafanyika Kenya hii kama freedom of speech. Hizi zote ni baba Raila Amolo Odinga ameleta. Kwa hivyo sisi tunajua Raila Amolo Odinga kwa mazuri yenye amepigania Kenya hii. Kwa hivyo tunasema pole kwa jamii mzima ya Raila Amolo Odinga, na sisi kama wafuasi wake, masoja wake wote tunasema pole na tunalia tukisema Mungu alaze Raila Mungu alaze roho ya Raila Amolo Odinga mahali pema peponi.
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Jevin Oyoka Sam, ama the Dean of Comrades. Mimi kwa kifo ya Raila imenishtua sana. Raila was not only a political figure in Kenya and the former Prime Minister, but I'm mourning Raila as my party leader. I am the youth leader ODM Kapsaret constituency. As the young nation from Kapsaret, we are mourning our political father. We are mourning the father of the freedom of speech that we are enjoying right now. Tuko na huzuni sana, and to our mother, Ida Odinga, we want to tell you that we are so sorry, but despite that the party leader and the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga is gone, I want to assure you that the spirit of Raila Amolo Odinga has just been born in Uasin Gishu, and the party will not die.
Mgaji wa Uasin Gishu, sisi tunatoa rambirambi yetu kama wagaji wa Uasin Gishu na watu wa North Rift. Sisi tumetusuka kwa kuacha kuondoka kwa baba. Raila Amolo Odinga ni statesman na mtu ambaye ni banavrik, na yeye mwenyewe amesacrifice maisha yake yote. Sisi tunataka kumwambia Wachaluo boleni na watu wa Kenya boleni. Umepoteza mtu ambaye alikuwa anajua usito ya Kenya. Yeye ndio alikuwa na sacrifice alabu mwingine aongoze.
Jina naitwa Winnie Cheruta Ndalut, tunatoka Uasin Gishu na tuko hapa kwa huzuni. Tumepoteza kiongozi ambaye tulimuita kwa wakati mwingi ni baba wa demokrasia katika nchi ya Kenya na Afrika kote. So tunaomboleza kwa kupoteza kiongozi ambaye alituonyesha njia kila wakati kukuwa na penye tumekosa amani. Ni Raila tulikuwa tunategemea akisema turudi kwa amani, amani inarudi. We've lost an hero, we've lost a leader that was going to lead generations to come. We are mourning with the family of Raila Odinga, we are mourning with Kenyans, we are mourning with the Luo from Uasin Gishu and the Luo from all over the country.
Ni mkaaji ya kaunti ya Uasin Gishu. Kwanza kabisa natoa rambirambi kwa baba Raila Amolo Odinga na familia yake na jamii ya ODM kwa jumla. Ya pili ni rambirambi pia kwa Mheshimiwa Rais, Mheshimiwa Daktari William Samoei Ruto, ambaye papa amekuwa kama ndugu yake. Ya pili ni kwa Wakenya mzima, hasa wale walipigania haki za watu, haki za kidemokrasia. Tunajua watu wengi wanasema tu papa, lakini wajui papa imetoka wapi. Papa ni papa ya ukombozi wa Kenya kupitia katiba ya 2010. Na hapo sisi wote ndio tunajivunia, na tunataka tuambie familia yake na wakazi wote wa Kenya ya kwamba amani ni muhimu. Licha ya kuondokewa na papa, papa amewacha msisi.
Kwanza kabisa wacha niseme tunasema pole kwa familia ya Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga na watu wa Nyanza na Kenya kwa jumla. Kusema ukweli, kifo ya Raila imetustua, na Mheshimiwa Raila ni mtu amefanya kazi Kenya hii na ni mtu mwaminifu na ni mtu tunategemea. Tunasema pole pia kwa Mheshimiwa Rais kwa sababu amepoteza rafiki, hata sisi pande yote tumepoteza rafiki. Sasa tunasema Mheshimiwa Raila, familia yake pole, sisi watu
Mimi ni Joshua Kemboi, Mheshimiwa Raia. Tunasema pole kwa familia ya Raila Odinga. Tunasema pole kwa Kenya yote. Tunasherehekea uhuru yenye tuko naye sababu Raila alichangia sana. Kwa upande wa siasa tabadilika kidogo sababu unajua Raila alikuwa anachangia sana. Ile kitu tunajua tu mambo ya 2027, tunapoelekea mambo ya 2027 siasa itakuwa tofauti sana. Bila Raila unajua siasa itakuwa tofauti sana.
Kwa majina naitwa Omolo Kwany. We condole with the family of Raila Odinga. Raila was a global leader. We have lost. Today is a sad day for this nation. As Kenyans, we have lost a very important person in the history of Kenya. But we know what Raila has fought for will not be in vain. We will have another Raila Odinga who will carry on from where Raila has left.
Tributes from residents in Eldoret there. I want us to take you back now to that tribute by Kenya's Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki. And this is what he says: I am shocked to learn of the passing on of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Kenya's most consequential politician of this generation. A patriotic and distinguished son of Kenya, Raila Odinga believed that it is better for us to have an imperfect country struggling to perfect its value and institutional systems than to have no country at all. He loved Kenya and believed in Africa. The Deputy President goes on to say his illustrious political career spanning decades is the most remarkable example of wit, energy, acumen, and ability to make complex decisions rapidly. Kenya mourns a statesman, visionary, and revolutionary leader who served with dignified focus, one who put the people before self. Condolences to his family and friends. May his soul find rest in eternity. That is from Deputy President of the Republic, Professor Kithure Kindiki. And we have another update for you, an alert. Speaking of the Deputy President, he will shortly be chairing the first meeting of the National Funeral Committee at his official residence in Karen. Once again, the Deputy President will shortly be chairing the first meeting of the National Funeral Committee at the official residence in Karen. This is to begin plans for the final send-off for Raila Odinga. So that very first meeting of the funeral committee will be taking place, after which we are set to hear a statement from the Deputy President, Kithure Kindiki, at around 6:30 p.m. following that first official meeting excuse me, of the National Funeral Committee. And remember, all of this on the back of a delegation of more than 30 who are any moment now leaving for India to go and organize the repatriation of the remains of Raila Odinga. We heard from the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is a great friend of Raila Odinga for many, many years, saying he will facilitate that repatriation. And so that is where we are at this moment. As soon as we get the first pictures from that National Funeral Committee meeting, we will get those to you, and we will definitely be on standby once that statement comes out from the Deputy President's office after their first meeting to see where we are with the plans. We continue here with our reflections. I will come to you, Jarvis, in a moment. But Franklin, you know, earlier when we were speaking, there was something you said. You looked at this photo that is behind Jarvis. Maybe we can, you know, have it on full screen for everybody to see. You were looking at this photo we've had here on our screens in the background in studio. What was going through your mind? A penny for your thoughts as you looked at this photo.
It was unbelief. It has not registered in my mind. It does not sink in that the man Raila Odinga is no more. And that may have precipitated actually skipping your question, which you asked me.
No,
that is to tell you, that is to tell you how powerful the man was on issues affecting the nation, issues affecting families, issues affecting education, affecting health. So I was looking at him so intensely. And when you came on question on me, I went back to what he did when we were organizing the elections, the sort of magnanimity he showed that my family can stay behind first and all that. But let me go back to what you asked me about the proclamation. I've just seen the proclamation by the president. It is very stately, it is very respectful, it is honorable. I have not seen one like that before. But I must appreciate the president and thank him for making it his responsibility to make the various pronouncements he has made. Even most importantly, is visiting with the widow and the children in their family home. That is perfect. That is good. That is saying, I am the president. And one of my people, one of my subjects has passed on. So I must laud the president, and even more so, his decision to form actually two teams now. The team to go to India to go and come with the remains of Raila is commendable, and it is appropriate, and it is actually, in my view, within the law. And he has also formed a committee, a funeral committee, which you have just announced, Yvonne, that they are meeting shortly at the residence of the deputy president. It means the president has put in his mind, his energy, his thinking into how to handle the matter in the national interest. So it is laudable. In fact, in the proclamation, there is one thing which I saw there, which I have never seen before, that even the flags, the little flags on vehicles, shall be off the vehicles, which I have never seen before, which is showing respect, showing love for this man, giving attention to the national interest, to the national unity, that we must come as a people and handle this situation together as a people.
As a nation,
so the president is leading the way. He's leading the whole organization of seeing this man rested well.
And indeed, we have a video of, and I believe we'll show it to you in a moment, of just what you are describing about the flag being removed from the official vehicle of the Deputy President, Kithure Kindiki. We shall show you that in a moment. I just wanted to reiterate once again what you were saying about that presidential proclamation today. And just to read it, I think for all of us, he says, as President of the Republic of Kenya, Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, I do hereby order and direct, 1, that in testimony of the highest esteem in which all Kenyans hold the person and the memory of Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, the nation will observe a period of national mourning from today until sunset of the day of his interment. 2, that Prime Minister Raila Odinga shall be accorded a state funeral with military honors and the attendant state protocols being rendered and observed. 3, that the flag of the Republic of Kenya shall be flown at half-mast at State House and all Kenyan diplomatic missions, public buildings and public grounds, all military bases, posts and stations on all naval vessels of the Republic of Kenya, and however elsewhere throughout the entire territory of the Republic of Kenya from today until sunset on the day of his interment. And finally, 4, that the President, the Deputy President, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Chief Justice, Cabinet Secretaries, Speaker of the National Assembly, Speaker of the Senate, Kenya's diplomats abroad, and whomsoever else is so authorized by law, shall not fly the national flag on their official motor vehicles from today until sunset on the day of his
the greatest
interment.
honor. Greatest
just
honor given to a man.
That's right. When you read that proclamation, then you begin to see where we are with this one. Javas, as a student of politics and everything, I want to go back to a little bit something that we had talked about earlier, and something that I've also seen in the tribute by Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, where he termed him as a man who was able to make complex decisions rapidly. Is that something you observed? And I think we've talked about it now. He runs in an election and then he works with his competitors. Is that a reflection that you share or that you have witnessed?
Oh, sure, Yvonne. And in fact, still, even this moment, I'm struggling to put the name, the let, behind the name of Raila Odinga. I cannot even imagine that that man with a great presence and husky voice has had now the curtains of life closed on him. When you talk about complexities, Yvonne, it is true that if there was a man who knew how to navigate the complex terrain of politics, it is Honorable Raila Odinga. For instance, after a very difficult, confrontational, hard-fought election, he had the grace and the temerity to shake hands with his previous nemesis and work together and even forget everything they said against each other, call each other brother, but even forge a working relationship. I've seen images of Honorable Raila Odinga walking hand in hand with President Uhuru Kenyatta as he then was. I have seen photos and images of, and even videos of Honorable Raila Odinga walking hand in hand with President William Ruto. And you cannot imagine that they have overcome whatever challenges they had in the election, and now they are brothers. It just demonstrates that Raila Odinga had a complex political mind, that even the issue of him running for political office, it was not just for him. It was for the good of country, what he believed in.
Correct.
And that he never put himself first. Otherwise, when it came to the issue just before the grand coalition government that was presided over by Kofi Annan, the late, Raila Odinga would have stood ground and said that in Swahili, liwe liwalo, he won the election. But he put all that behind him and said, for the sake of country, he put the country first. Then look at even the issue of election outcomes, 2013, 2017, and even 2022. He had doubts about the election outcome, but he never went to the streets. He went to the courts. So Raila Odinga also believed in institutions. He believed in the judiciary. That unlike how it was in 2007, he didn't run to the streets to demand, quote unquote, his victory. He said, let this matter be arbitrated by the trier of fact, that are the courts, the Supreme Court in this case. And even after the Supreme Court decisions, he would say, I disagree with the decision of the Supreme Court, but I will respect it. So he was a respecter of the rule of law, a respecter of the institutions that have been created by the Constitution. And given that all this happens under the spirit of sovereignty, he believed that if the people then have elected to so-and-so to be president, in this case, President William Ruto, as he was elected in 2022, then let me work with the person that the people have elected. So this also goes to demonstrate that beyond the issue of ceding ground and to work with his former political enemy, he would bring whatever he believed in, cases of, for example, social justice, issues to do with the rule of law, electoral justice, he would bring them to the table as part of issues to be fast-tracked in a newfound political friendship. And so in all this, one gets to see that to write the political legacy of Honorable Raila Odinga is also a very complex feat that will require, I think, very talented historians in future times to document everything. Because look at this person that when you meet him, he would appear very calm and harmless. In fact, if you meet him seated, one would wonder whether this is the electrifying, hypnotizing politician when he stood before a crowd.
Yeah.
So this kind of political character and nature is something that now has been taken away from us. And we are left with the great memories of a great patriot, a gallant son of this country. I think, as it was asked by even Shakespeare, from whence then cometh another?
Mm. Some interesting reflections from those who have worked with him, those who have witnessed what's been happening, those who have reported on him as well. And, we continue with, getting to understand, what happens going forward, and we'll continue to update you on the next steps. First of all, just to remind you once again that the Deputy President is chairing the very first National Funeral Committee meeting any time from now, after which they will issue a statement in about an hour's time. We will let you know of that as soon as it takes place. We were talking about that directive by the President and the presidential proclamation that the flags be removed from the official motor vehicles of senior government officials. This is the removal of the flag from let me just confirm that this is from the Deputy President's vehicle, and this is in honor of Raila Odinga, and this is per the presidential directive through that proclamation that he issued this afternoon. What you're seeing now is the removal of the official flag from the official motor vehicle of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kithure Kindiki. And that is not just for cabinet secretaries, it is for the president, the deputy president, and all other senior government officials. We'll be showing you the removal as well from the president's official vehicle as well. So once again, this is the flag removal from Deputy President Kithure Kindiki's official vehicle following that presidential proclamation on the passing on of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. That picture that you're seeing, that video, is something you're going to see happening with the President's vehicle, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Chief Justice, all Cabinet Secretaries, Speaker of the National Assembly, Speaker of the Senate, Kenya's diplomats abroad, and whomsoever else is authorized by law to fly the flag on their official motor vehicles. That is from today until sunset on the day of Raila Odinga's interment. These official vehicles will fly without the national flag in honor of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. So that is the removal from the Deputy President's vehicle. We have the video from the President's vehicle. We're processing that, and we'll have that for you on screen in just a short moment from now. So once we get that, we shall put that on screen for you to witness this moment. Senator, we're set to see another state funeral in the country. We've seen quite a few,
yes.
Former presidents and others. What are your thoughts and your reflections, around that proclamation?
The reality is that if you look at the funeral of President Kibaki, Kenyans were prepared for it because of his age, and they knew that he's most probably not going to live longer than his 90 years. President Moi, most probably, because he lived longest and he had lived a very quiet life. Raila's passing is going to leave a lot of people unsettled for the simple reason that they thought he's going to live longer, because people always think we are going to live forever, if not up to 100. But in general terms, I think, as I mentioned somewhere else, I think this morning, to a friend of mine, I said, many Kenyans are going to mourn Raila in very different ways.
Correct.
All right? Because I know, like the Kisii team, they're planning to organize our neighbor. There's a way we do it, where the neighbors will visit each other, neighbors, and deliver some token of appreciation, and then give him the things which you give somebody who was passed on, who was great. I'm informed that most of the Kisii leadership is going to be in Nairobi tomorrow because they are planning to issue a statement on the same. And that was on call because of I think Matiang'i was running for president.
Yes.
He made the request to the leadership, and I believe everybody, including Simbarati, the governor of Nyamira, I think all of them. We are about 27. We'll most probably be here discussing that. When you look at Kenyan people are really interesting people, Yvonne. Let me talk for myself. I remember Raila for three things. Number one, football.
Yes, that's
I mean, there is no heartbreaking disappointment I have been through as an individual, painfully so, to see Arsenal lose all our games. And yet Raila never gave up on Arsenal. I did. I mean, Raila would see it and Arsenal is hit 8 goals to 1.
Yeah.
And he stands up and said, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow. The following day, he's there. Correct. He's in current club, he's in Nairobi club. And
Even
I'm like,
after you gave up on Arsenal.
I gave up. Yeah. I lost Arsenal 15 years ago. But
he didn't.
Raila was always on Arsenal. And if you talk nicely about Arsenal, he said, yeah, Richard, come on, listen here.
Yeah.
Today we'll score. When we are beaten, we all cry and go home, like the way we always get lost elections and we'll all cry and go home, that kind of thing.
And move on, yeah.
The second memory I have of Raila was him walking in prison across our cells. And it was about 3 a.m. in the morning. And we believed that President Moi had made a decision to actually go and hang him. The most shocking thing is it was about after 6 days after he walked is when we received a message, and later somebody told us that it was Jaramogi who sent somebody to come and tell us in prison that Raila was actually saved. And the president, Moi then had a very soft, President Moi actually looked at Raila as just a troublemaker, not really harmful, somebody who was too noisy, and yet was firm on his positions. And as a result of that, I believe President Moi had a very soft spot, just like my father. My father, I would ask him, I said, what is your feeling about Raila? You are a conformist, you support the government, you support President Moi, and you never quite talk about Raila. And they would tell me, Raila is unique. He's unique in his own way because he plays his politics the way I can't, because my father was really a government boy, you know, who was pro the establishment. Yeah. And he gave him all the credit, and which later I got to learn. And at a personal level for me, the last item I served, which remains in my mind, was Raila making the decision for South Sudan to actually become an independent African country. It was the Kenyans may not know this. It was a very difficult decision to make, because John Garang was Raila's, you know. Yeah. I mean, it was everything. John Garang was somebody we all respected and trusted. And then John dies. So the question was, what do you do with these Sudanese when their leader has died? President Salva Kiir has now taken over as the president in waiting. And as I said earlier, President Kibaki called everybody, and I think the team was really incredible. P.S. Thuita Mwangi, you had Professor, who was at State House, I can't remember what his name, I forget his name. All those people conglomerated and sat down, and I saw Raila asking them, what if South Sudan doesn't become independent? Yeah. What are the mechanisms which are in place on the Comprehensive Peace Agreement and all the transitory engagements which the Sudanese had? And the person in the room who shocked all of us was Raila. He said, don't do South Sudan like Western Sahara, because Western Sahara did not become independent, and it has been like that forever. So when Raila said, no, the Sudanese need to become independent and support them, and of course President Kibaki really worked hard, he delivered, even though he was a bit unwell at that time. Then you remember after that, he came for the South Sudanese referendum, and the South Sudanese became independent. So I think historically, there are things which Raila holds, and many Kenyans value them. I have extreme amounts of respect for him, for me, because I was a young politician making noise, trying to understand what the opposition politics was all about. And eventually, when I got into parliament and now I joined ODM, it was a very interesting development. It was a very interesting growth. Then we became friends. We picked the teams of individuals who were with Raila at that time. My interpretation also, Yvonne, is that indeed I would want to tell Kenyans the truth and be honest, is that very many people who were close with Raila fell aside, all right, because of the contradictions, because of the politics was there. But I have learned from him also that when you have the critical kingpins, you know, most people will always give themselves credit and say, oh, Raila was just an enigma. Yes, which he was. And he was a big man and he could really do anything political. No, he had very good thinkers. Raila had Orengo. I mean, let people not see James Orengo the way they see him. I mean, Raila had Anyang. I mean, Anyang could sit down and we discuss economic policy. Local Vision 2030, the team that you talked about, that was the national economic team, which President Kibaki had appointed, and it was Raila who would chair it, or Kibaki himself. And look at the people who are occupying the ministries. And look at how those ministries were performing. All right. And I remember in the coalition government, and I know Franklin will completely agree with me, Frank, you know how we were fighting about this corruption thing.
Yeah.
I mean, on a daily basis, weekly basis, you hear there's a story about maize. Raila is calling a meeting and telling